Our Year in Review series continues as we look back on achievements in tourism for 2019. Also on the show, Prime Minister Andrew Holness tackles matters of crime, road safety, and other issues in 2020. This is Jamaica Magazine, and I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for joining us. It all unfolds right now.
Good day, I'm Lorraine Mendez, and this is your JIS News for Tuesday, January 14. Gender Minister Olivia Grange has strongly condemned the recent killing of 3 women due to domestic violence. The women, who are from Manchester, St. Catherine and St. Elizabeth, were allegedly killed by their partners between December 31 and January 13. Minister Grange says the nation is outraged by these acts, which continue to bedevil our society. She is pleading with Jamaicans to tell the authorities when they see signs of domestic violence, arguing that collectively we can put an end to these acts.
We may not be able to eliminate it in 1 year, but I'm praying for the abuse of women to be decreased and reduced to what one would consider at a level where we can now work with men as our partners to eliminate it.
She has expressed condolence to the families and friends of the deceased young women. Plans are far advanced for a national dengue cleanup period later this month. The Ministry of Health and Wellness has been spearheading assessments of critical areas with key ministries, departments, and agencies. The move is in keeping with Cabinet's approval of $1 billion to increase dengue control intervention activities.
On the 24th, the 25th, and the 26th of this month, Minister Grange and all the rest of us will have a national cleanup day in recognition of ridding the country of solid waste as part of the dengue eradication drive. We want all citizens of Jamaica to be a part of that. And we want every single homeowner to look around the yard, take out the solid waste, put it out front. We are going to be working with National Solid Waste, with all the other agencies, and we're going to rid this country of solid waste because solid waste is a major cause of the dengue crisis that we face.
Minister Tufton was speaking at a town hall meeting hosted by the Ministry of Local Government in Port Antonio last Friday. The health minister is expected to give further details of the national dengue cleanup activities during this Wednesday's post-cabinet press briefing. Activities surrounding the national dengue cleanup are being led in conjunction with the National Labor Day Secretariat in the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport. Meanwhile, the Health and Wellness Ministry will be ramping up activities to search for and destroy mosquito breeding sites in Portland. Portfolio Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says fogging will also be increased.
In the weeks to come, we are going to be deploying in this parish more vehicles for fogging. So you're going to see new pickup trucks, vehicle-mounted foggers, and we're going to take on the fogging in a more aggressive way.
Minister Tufton says data has confirmed 1 dengue-related death and more than 280 hospitalizations in the parish. He's urging residents to be vigilant against the dengue virus by taking precautionary measures such as proper solid waste disposal.
Punch holes in the tires and the cans. Stock them in containers and cover them. Make sure that the garbage truck picks them up. And if you do that, you're going to significantly reduce the risk to yourself and to your neighbor.
In other news, Prime Minister Andrew Holness says government remains committed to putting in place the necessary policies, infrastructure and systems to preserve lives on the nation's roads. Mr. Holness was addressing the first evaluation and planning meeting of the National Road Safety Council, the NRSC, for the year.
We have very much a vested interest in ensuring that we in Jamaica develop safe road practices, both from in terms of, as you have said, the public awareness and public education, the legislative framework and our ability to enforce, but in terms of building out the infrastructure in the first place to make it safe and convenient for road users.
With more than 400 road fatalities recorded in 2019, Prime Minister Holness says he is compelled to address road safety in his upcoming 2020-2021 budget presentation, at which time he will outline the plans of the government. The cost of injuries on the health sector is significant, with that reported as being over $3 billion in 2014. During its first meeting of 2020, the National Road Safety Council reiterated the need for the country to be relentless in efforts to reduce deaths and injuries. The NRSC comprises public and private sector interest groups and is chaired by Prime Minister Andrew Holness. Students from 10 primary schools in the corporate area are to benefit from a new digital literacy project. The initiative was launched on Friday and targets members of the Kiwanis Builders Clubs. The aim of the project is to improve digital literacy and critical thinking skills among the students. They will also be trained to use the digital platforms in a safe and effective way. Represented by his senior advisor, Courtney Scott, Education State Minister Alando Tarilong said the project would complement the primary exit profile.
The whole idea, the whole foundation of PEP is to develop your critical thinking skills, and that's the idea here of the Kiwanis digital literacy training program, is developing critical thinking skills, be able to think on your feet, be able to develop your debating skills.
The Kiwanis Club of North St. Andrew is undertaking the initiative in partnership with the Cyber Incident Response Team CERT in the Ministry of Science, Energy and Technology, as well as the Jamaica Urban Transit Company. Following the training, a 3-member team from each school will compete in a debate competition in February, where a winner will be crowned. And finally, work is progressing as planned on the male ward at the Portland Infirmary, which is being constructed at a cost of $45 million. The work is over 55% complete and is scheduled for opening in a few months. Local Government Minister Desmond McKenzie says the facility will cater to the needs of male homeless persons in the parish.
There is a need, ladies and gentlemen, for us to treat the poor and the destitute, especially our old folks, who are in the final moments, to treat them with some level of dignity and respect.
Mr. McKenzie gave the update at a town hall meeting in Portland on Thursday night. The government opened a female ward at the infirmary in 2018 at a cost of $15 million. And that's it for JI's News Today. I'm Lorraine Mendez. Thanks for watching.
The tourism industry was one of the biggest achievers in 2019, with arrivals surpassing the 4 million mark and earnings of over $3 billion US. Next, we recap how the ministry was able to accomplish these goals during the last 12 months.
Ranked number 14 as the best destination of choice by the world's largest travel site, TripAdvisor. Record numbers in tourist arrivals. Local and global brands opening resorts. The Ministry of Tourism soared to higher heights during 2019. Approximately 4 million persons vacationed on the island during 2019. Those who came by air accounted for approximately 2.6 million. Air services was bolstered through several arrangements and continued contracts with airline carriers out of South America, the United States of America, Europe, and Asia. Cruise shipping brought in about 1.2 million passengers, re-energizing the country's ports of Falmouth, Trelawney, Montego Bay, St. James, and Oteria, St. Anne. In line with an increase in tourist arrivals, a spike in the earnings. The island earned close to $4 billion through tourism in the year. Jamaica continued to be a top destination for tourism investment in 2019. The hotel sector grew as several local and international brands opened a wide range of offerings in the accommodation sector.
And we are creating a tourism in Jamaica that is inclusive, and that involves the integration of community.
A few contracts were also finalized during the year for other large and small hotels that will open shortly.
Trelawney, in the next 3 years, will have the second largest inventory of tourism rooms in Jamaica, because the expansion of Royalton is on track. Another 1,200 rooms, 6 on each side. The expansion of Oyster Bay is on track. Another 500 rooms. Then there is Amatera next door, which will start with 1,200 rooms. And then there is harmonization to come with another 2,000 or so rooms.
From training to product development, the ministry was engaged in a number of activities to spruce up the tourism sector. In the mix of infrastructure development programs, by mid-year, the Tourism Workers' Pension Bill was passed in Parliament and gazetted.
The plan will cover all workers aged 18 to 59 years in the tourism sector. This plan, Mr. Speaker, embraces everyone in the sector, whether he or she be red cap, front desk manager, craft trader, housekeeper, raftsmen, or any other category of worker in the industry, including, as I said, those who are self-employed.
Jamaica cemented its role as a thought leader in the area of tourism resilience and crisis management during the year 2019. The second Tourism Resilience Summit of the Americas, Building Tourism Resilience, was convened. Technical and financial support were also provided to countries ravaged by disasters. The tourism minister and a team from the ministry also journeyed to Japan for a technical working visit to gain first-hand knowledge on disaster management.
We as a little country is presenting to the world a real opportunity to look at how to manage disruptions and to build capacity to enable thriving after mega disasters. Because the visitor comes to consume our cultural products. And if we have them in great numbers, with great diversity and high quality, then for sure we will get the consumption we require and the dollar stays in Jamaica.
Through activities such as the annual Christmas in July, farmers market and craft fairs, the tourism ministry pushed to ensure other sectors were directly benefiting from the industry. Tourism continued to achieve growth in various areas during the last year. The staff, led by Minister Bartlett, is determined to realize its 5x5x5 strategy of 5 million visitors, $5 billion in earnings by the year 2021.
$20 million has been allocated for surveillance equipment and enforcement activities to regulate fishing in Jamaican waters. Plans are in place by government for a hemp cultivation project in the maroon community of Accompong, St. Elizabeth. The Jamaica Trade Information Portal, which will make it easier for local and international investors to do business, was officially launched.
Micro, small and medium-sized MSME manufacturers will soon be able to benefit from a new loan facility offered by the National Export-Import Exim Bank at an interest rate of 4.75%.
The Ministry of Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries worked hard in 2019 to enhance the sectors. Join us on Wednesday, January 15, 2020 for an extensive look at the Ministry's year in review.
So many wish they could visit our shores. We live where they vacation. Brand Jamaica beckons all from the four corners of the earth.
Well, as a Jamaican, I have great pride in selling it. Your pride that you sell Jamaica with is something that it rolls off. Jamaica has so much to offer, and every time I have the privilege of bringing an executive down to Jamaica, an executive from an airline or a tour operator or a travel agency, and you take them across the country, you know, the pride that they said, wow, I can't imagine, especially when it's their first time. Wow, I love this.
Build it. Cherish it. Our wealth is Brand Jamaica.
The profile on the tourism industry continues with a feature highlighting how government is seeking to strengthen the brand and protect it from disruptions. Take a look at measures being implemented to minimize the impact of man-made or natural disasters.
It is the fastest growing industry, yet it is also the most vulnerable sector. One scare and people will stop traveling, an immediate standstill on planes taking off, and cruise ships remaining at port. To prevent a fallout in destination Jamaica, work is being embarked on to build a resilient tourism industry.
How do we build resilience, and how do we ensure that our destinations can respond to these global shocks and respond well to mitigate its impact, one, and two, to recover and recover fast from it, but to recover and build better. And I think therein lies the whole notion of resilience.
The ministry cannot prevent shocks from occurring, but systems and measures can be implemented to recover quickly from these difficulties. The stakeholders involved in building a resilient destination are working to do just that.
The resilience that we talk about has to begin with our human factor.
Human resource is Destination Jamaica's biggest asset. The workers of the industry represent the most iconic of all the attractions. Infusing those workers with the know-how to cater to the needs of their clientele is at the heart of initiatives such as the Jamaica Center of Tourism Innovation. The center has already graduated 150 first-world talents to fill top positions in the industry. The internationally certified Hospitality and Tourism Management program is priming 650 students of 32 high schools to join those ranks in the future. Current tourism workers are also undergoing foreign language training to broaden the communication proficiency of sector employees.
The second, of course, is how to build. Whole business of building better and using better technology to build more climate resistant structures, and also to look at the issues of seismic involvement and how do we build against the seismic challenges that the Caribbean has.
The Port Royal earthquake experience, or even more recent, Hurricane Sandy of 2012 and others, have destroyed tourism havens and hideaways. Now, a collaborative effort is underway between architects and government ministries to develop sound human-made spaces that cater to the desires of visitors.
We don't have the responsibility for the actual build-out. What we have the duty to do is to bring to the attention of our technical partners the need for us to build in a certain way. And that's what we've been trying to do by way of the discussions that we have with investors who are coming in, as well as with our local town planners and the people who are involved in making approvals for business structures and for planning and so on. The other area of resilience is in terms now of our marketing. How do we build capacity to market against the new demographics that are emerging and the new psychographic profiles that are also out there?
In a data-driven era, the social space of the World Wide Web dictates what's hot, including must-go vacation spots. Marketing resilience is using data to make decisions on where to garner visitors and online shoppers. Like any good or item, Destination Jamaica is marketed through the click of a button. Technology is utilized to have greater access to far-flung markets where cultures, language, expectation, and experimental needs are different from Jamaica's.
And the final area that I believe we have to build resilience on is in terms of policy and governance. And this is a very important area because, you know, the world today is asking for a kind of governance that we've never seen before, born out of this new transparency that the technology is demanding.
With the world demanding a different kind of leadership, Policies must be implemented to meet those requests. Tourism is more than sun, sand, and sea. It employs a large chunk of the workforce, thus providing foreign exchange earnings. For these reasons and more, it must be resilient.
Garbage collection, maintenance of public sanitary conveniences, upkeep of cemeteries, provision of water shops, road improvement, street lights, poor relief programs, community beautification. All these services are funded by you. Yes, they are, when you pay your property tax. Pay your annual property tax to make Jamaica the place of choice for all.
Up next, a roundup of activities by Prime Minister Andrew Holness during the first full work week of the year.
Cabinet goes paperless. Prime Minister urges partnership to fight crime and meets with heads of agencies responsible for housing, water and roads. You're watching Jamaica House Weekly. I'm Anthony Morgan. This past week, Prime Minister Andrew Holness made good on a promise he made in 2018. On Monday, Cabinet transitioned to a paperless system. The move comes as the state continues to streamline access to information across the public sector. During the meeting, ministers received secure laptops to facilitate the electronic upload and dissemination of confidential cabinet papers. The devices were specially procured and designed to ensure cybersecurity, durability, and easy user interface. Mr. Holness says the immediate benefits of the new platform include greater efficiency, lower costs, and increased security and access.
What we're doing today is an important aspect of that digital transformation, which is to finally change the business process for cabinet documents, to make them digital, to make them more accessible, and give a kind of real-time access to cabinet documents.
I appeal to the nation. Don't create an environment of support for the criminal. Don't support them. Be smart about what you're doing. Share information.
Prime Minister Holness's plea to those attending the 15th annual Heal the Family, Heal the Nation service held at the National Arena in Kingston last Wednesday. He reasoned that through partnerships with the church and other stakeholders, the island could put a dent in its crime and violence challenges. Mr. Holness also unveiled government's crime-fighting plans, which not only include the security forces, but also community and human programs.
In the coming months, you will be seeing rolled out elements of the plan, including the equipment of the police, including greater equipment to assist us with public order and traffic management. And we will continue to use, as far as possible, the zones of special operations and the states of public emergency. We will arrest the crime situation, and we will do it without abusing anyone's rights.
Wednesday also saw the Prime Minister meeting with heads of agencies within the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation. The agencies provided updates on current and future projects in the 2019 to 2021 fiscal years. Mr. Holness used the meeting to instruct agency heads to fast-track innovative projects that can create sustainable and inclusive economic growth.
If you don't get the growth, we will not be able to maintain the full crop, meaning to maintain this new capacity to generate revenues for capital expenditure.
Mr. Holness says these projects can be achieved through efficient management, greater coordination among agencies, and instituting an accountability-based system that's driven by performance.
You have to start to hold the people below you accountable for meeting targets and timelines
And you also, as board members and executives, have to spend much more time in doing proper risk analysis of the projects you select to place on the capital budget.
Prime Minister Holness continued his meetings with heads of agencies Thursday. This time, he chaired the first evaluation and planning meeting of the National Road Safety Council. With road fatalities reaching 435 in 2019, discussions centered on bringing the figure down. Potential solutions were heard from a number of stakeholders, including the Jamaica Constabulary Force, the National Works Agency, Island Traffic Authority, and the Sentence Bay Hospital. Mr. Holness reiterated government's commitment to put in place all the necessary initiatives to preserve lives on the nation's roads.
We have very much a vested interest in ensuring that we in Jamaica develop safe road practices, both from in terms of, as you have said, the public awareness and public education, the legislative framework, and our ability to enforce, but in terms of building out the infrastructure in the first place to make it safe and convenient for road users.
And that's how we close out Jamaica House Weekly. Be sure to join us next time for more of the news stories coming out of the office of the Prime Minister.
What if they knew that you abused her? Her family?
Mr. Jones.
And your colleagues, how will they look at an abuser? When the law comes knocking, you'll have nowhere to run.
Mr. Brown, you're under arrest. Please get up, hands behind your head and interlock your fingers.
Turn your back on abusers. Report gender-based violence to the police. There's no excuse for abuse. Call the Bureau of Gender Affairs at 876-754-8577.
We've come to the end of the show. Catch us again tomorrow right here on this station. Another half hour of informative features awaits you. Until then, please send your feedback to Jamaica Magazine at jis.gov.jm. You may also connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Theodore Henry. Do take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.